Hi, my name is Rachel Elsey. I'm a genomic oncology pharmacist at the Avera Cancer Center in Sioux Falls, presenting the Community Cancer Center perspective on precision oncology in practice. For an overview of our institution, Avera serves a regional population of nearly 1 million people. That includes 35 hospitals. These numbers might be a little outdated. 215 primary and specialty care clinics. We have 6 Avera Cancer Institute locations across our footprint. We serve patients mainly in South Dakota, but also in Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and North Dakota as well. This big footprint of over 72,000 square miles includes 14 federally recognized tribal communities and a really extensive rural population. For a practice model overview, our Community Cancer Center is a lot of rural and elderly patients. We have actually had a precision oncology program for over 10 years. We were lucky that the leadership team brought in some experts early in the NGS era, and including HOPA fellow that was really integral into making our program a success and providing some insight and guidance along the way to run that. So one of the reasons pharmacists were chosen for this role back then was to provide some structure to this new program within the pre-existing clinic workflows. Pharmacists provide an opportunity that is a great interdisciplinary care perspective. So that was not only for the clinic and how that fit into the overall workflows with the providers and the care teams, but also with our new team members, the data science team, bioinformatics, and translational science that came along. They also have an extensive knowledge of medication toxicity and monitoring and dosing. And this is really important as we brought in, we're a site that participated in the iPredict trial many moons ago. So being able to build N of 1 regimens, we provided an important safety and component to that practice style. And drug information skills. How do you find out how to build all those things together and learn more and more all the time? So drug information skills, I think, are another thing that put pharmacists at the forefront of this process. Our practice really does focus primarily on solid tumors, but we do have a hub and spoke model. So me and our team are in Sioux Falls, but we do cover that entire 6 Avera Cancer Institute region centrally. Our patients go through a lot of, once they hit our system, unfortunately with a diagnosis, a nurse navigator or an APP navigator helps them kind of walk through that process. One of those things is making sure that they get a medical oncology referral to discuss potential options. Some of these patients are referred to a tumor board to have a multidisciplinary care with the surgical team, pathology, etc. And a pharmacist on our team does attend those tumor boards in case there's some additional testing that needs to be recommended up front. So it's a good opportunity to make an early intervention and have testing results available when we need it. We also go through a biomarker order, which is done by the treating oncologist or other provider. So some of that is done through reflex testing, and the pathologists do a great job of that and work together. There is some in-house small panels, but other somatic testing orders are placed at that time. We also have a multi-omics platform study that includes tissue and liquid NGS, as well as pharmacogenomics. And so if patients are referred to that, that's how they'll get their biomarker testing done. We have NGS review as well. So this goes through our multidisciplinary team. We focus on breaking out recommendations into standard of care, clinical trials, and off-label recommendations. Additional pertinent information is there too. A lot of this is around some of the difficulty around what is clonal hematopoiesis and some of those other difficult pieces. So I think the pharmacist brings a lot into that piece about understanding the limitations of some of the testing, difficult or unique cases, especially resistance mechanisms that are a part of that can be detected in those in the test results, and really making sure that we're bringing that clinical context, that full clinical picture of a patient when providing these recommendations with a team that is not always, to bridge that with the clinician who's ordering and with our bioinformatics team. So our testing and ordering model is driven really by provider choice. So it is a hybrid of these internal testing, small panel reflex testing, and then external laboratories. The ordering, is it centralized or decentralized? A little bit of both. We do have the oncologist does order that NGS. So a lot of that does go through kind of a central process with our genetic counseling team currently. We're actually in the process of transitioning to Epic. And so that will be taken over back by the care teams and the laboratory group. So more to come. I hope to maybe learn from some other colleagues during this process too about best practices there. And we do have reflex testing for particular tumor types for those small panel and IHC tests. For data results and interpretation, so our test orders and results are not integrated into the EHR today. They haven't been for a long time. So the PDFs are available in the EHR. The in-house small panel results are available in our EHR discreetly. We are looking forward to Epic and the integration for discrete results that has the opportunity to bring us. We do expect a limited number of labs that we use to be available through that Aura integration for ordering and resulting at our go live time, but and still more to come. But we do have a database and have for the entirety of our time where most historic results discretely through the files that come through JSONs and FAMs, etc., from the external laboratories, and then we do curate that with particular patient information, other biomarkers that might not be discretely available in our EHR to really help find those patients and understand their cancer biology the best. I think that this will continue. I think we have Epic is a great opportunity, but I think we know that for potentially years to come, we won't have that all integrated, and our data science team will be integral in making sure all those sources kind of come together and we can find them all and we don't have a lot of duplicates. As far as interpretation, truly, and I think this is really every practice, the ordering MD is responsible for that results interpretation, and we are really a consult service and support. So we do a multidisciplinary review of every result that comes back, in-house, external, small panel, large panel, all of it. And that can happen a lot of different ways or at kind of different levels of granularity. A multidisciplinary review of all the results can happen through the treating provider referral for molecular tumor board, which is kind of our deepest, kind of biggest overview where we do nationwide clinical trial search and overview of all the results that patient has had. We have a different kind of study documentation of our team's results review for that multi-omics platform study. And it's a little more focused to clinical trials that are available at our institution, but includes some of those other interpretive things around clonal hematopoiesis or maybe some nuance in the testing results. And then for the other results that come in that aren't a part of either of those processes, we do a brief review. We're part of that pharmacist double check kind of in a way from this. So we do a brief review of those results for standard of care choices and also for biomarker driven clinical trials, either that are already available or through just-in-time programs in our institution. It's kind of an overview of who's included in this results return interpretation. Depending on the group, we really make sure that we have bioinformatics and a pharmacist and our translational cellular biology scientist are the kind of our main three and are part of all of the reviews with genetic counseling, pathology, and research, and laboratory, as you know, pathology and laboratory kind of working together as that additional kind of ad hoc team. And all those results go to the treating provider, who is, you know, ultimately responsible of providing that information. And the treating provider is really important too. They really bring the question. We want to make sure that we're answering the question they have. And so those different levels of review are an opportunity for them to get what they need from our team as well. As far as governance and decision making, molecular tumor board is one of our mainstays, has been for a long time. We have a scientific review and pre-meeting before that presentation. Community cancer center oncologists do not have time to sit through 2 cases in an hour. While that is a great educational opportunity, it's not realistic for a lot of the oncologists that see so many patients in a day and cover such a broad breadth of different tumor types and needs from different patients. So that meets weekly if providers have a question. But we still review all of those before, and we are quick with our recommendations to provide those answers to them as best we can. The multi-omics platform study is also really useful to a lot of providers. We've actually seen a downtick in our molecular tumor board uptake because a lot of them have been using this kind of testing for years. And so we're kind of in tune with what they are looking for in that documentation, and it's available for them when they need it. And otherwise, that brief review is available for our clinical trials. And you know, all 3 of those are important ways that we are really supporting our oncology care in our area. As far as governance, we've built in a new committee this year that's a specialty laboratory steering committee that's really driven by lab and oncology together to review the scientific merit of studies, or of testing and clinical utility, along with the administration for operations and IT for the IT components of building this test in and how are we getting data back, et cetera, et cetera. So being able to really get a tip to tail overview, I think this is an exciting opportunity and has been described in some other national groups as well. And then data governance. This is, I think, an ongoing topic as we move to Epic, but trying to pull in all those data sources, is data governance, who has access to it, is a great question. And I think a moving target about what do we need, what research protocols are in place, and how are we kind of tying all those things together. And then as far as consultation and ongoing engagement with providers. So we provide support anytime we are asked, anytime that it's needed. We are the ones to do it. So this is through electronic health record consults, email, real-time reviews through our kind of text messaging systems that are available in a lot of healthcare settings now, and even phone calls. And, you know, I think what makes our role different is that it really is a role that bridges this clinical practice and data science and kind of cancer biology science. So it is a clinical review. A lot of the things are a lot the same, but understanding the testing technology, how we can bring it together, asking the right questions, is a big important part. And then that kind of flows over into our support, our core services of the cancer center. So what does our administration need to understand the numbers that are coming in, treatments that are coming, when new patients, new approvals come through, we are able to pull the data for that and find how many patients and which patients might be applicable for that new targeted therapy. And that rolls over into research. So supporting research needs around feasibility questionnaires and understanding numbers there is really important. And it's for research. We have a really important job in making sure that new technology is useful for our patients. Our patients don't look like an academic medical center patient. And so how are we, just like every pharmacist in care, but how are we doing that for really specific things? And I think AI tools and algorithmic tools that come from these types of data are one of our biggest, one of the biggest things that we're trying to interrogate. What does our patient population look like, and how can we serve them best? So research is, kind of the mainstay and helps drive quality and improvement everywhere, and especially in this area. It's exciting to be a part of. So I'm excited to share it with you, and look forward to any questions.